A cut price for Dean Henderson seems on the cards now as he wants the move to Nottingham Forest. Welcome to your transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. In today's video, we will be talking about Dean Henderson and his wanton desire to leave Manchester United, but for a cut price. We'll be talking about a link to a crappy defender to Nottingham Forest yet again. And what's all this about the Greek father meeting with PSG? Plenty of news to come. Let's get into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And go grab your tickets for this beautiful signed frame Forest shirt with an LED screen as well. The link is in the description below. Let's jump into this. Let's start with Dino. Okay, I've made no secret about how sick and tired I am about talking about Dean Henderson. No, don't get me wrong, I do want him. I am really up for him coming to Forest. I just wish it would get done quicker. And initially, Man U, as we've told you, wanted 30 million for him. And somehow, some way, some other, Forest have brought that down, not to just 20 mil, but down to 15 mil plus add-ons, if you believe the reports that are coming out. And the reports seem to be well sourced. 15 million for Dean Henderson plus add-ons, which may be 5 mil, which may be 10 mil. But either way, you are now looking at an absolutely cracking deal. I don't mind add-ons. Add-ons are a good thing in my opinion because usually they meet objectives that benefit the team. So if this was to be 5 million of add-ons because he's kept X amount of clean sheets or got himself back into the England squad or whatever it might be, these are only positive things for Nottingham Forest. What's more important about this deal is that Forest, if they get it down to 15 million, technically have knocked 15 million off Man U's asking price. And secondly, put down into our club the #1 target for Steve Cooper, which would of course be Dean Henderson at the club. Now, we've talked about 3 or 4 other goalkeepers that have been linked to Nottingham Forest, and there has been peaks and troughs along the way in this Dino deal. But it seems ever likely now that this is going to happen. Dean Henderson was surprised to hear the fact that people were thinking that he would stay at Manchester United. He's left that prison and he's seen the rest of the world and he realizes that no one is as plastic as them and he needs to get out. So Hendo definitely wants to leave them and he sees no future there. And it seems to be the same case for Ten Hag. Ten Hag would ideally like De Gea to stay at Manchester United, saves them buying a keeper. But if he doesn't stay, we'll be looking for the likes of Onana, etc. to be replacing him. So as things stand, this is getting closer. Do I expect this to be deal done soon? Not really. I still think there's more to negotiate over these fees than are being reported. The add-ons, and then there'll be back and forth on it. Do we agree to this add-on? We don't agree to that, etc. That's all going to be up and down. But I am feeling more positive. In fact, I've even led this video with a Dean Henderson story. Usually, I tag him onto the end because no doubt you're sick of him as much as I am. But this is such a good progression, if you like, in the transfer negotiation. Because let's say that Forest had put aside 25 mil for him. Now that gives us an extra 10 mil to put back into the kitty, to put into other players. And honestly, 15 mil is a steal. I had him down at 20 mil and I'd be happy. Let's compare him again to the other keepers in and around his era, genre, whatever you want to call it. Pope went for 10 mil. To Newcastle, but remember Burnley had been relegated, so that was always going to be an easier deal to do. You had Ramsdale going to Arsenal for about 28 mil. That's probably about the same bracket that you would see Dean Henderson in. But again, we're going to steal him for a lot less. He's young, he's got plenty of years ahead of him. He knows the club, he knows the manager, he knows the playing style, the fans love him. This is a good deal. But there are still some other decent keepers in and around the market. So we don't have to worry too much. This is why I've been saying this whole transfer window, the power on this deal is in Nottingham Forest's hands. And Manchester United, who showed their hands, who called early, have put themselves in a position of weakness, which is, to be honest, what they tend to do with most of their transfer deals. Either they're getting ripped off with players they're trying to buy, or they're getting undercut with the players they're trying to offload. Don't forget, however, Dean Henderson will come with a hefty weekly wage. Currently at Manchester United, he's on about 100k. I would expect Forest to knock that down a bit, maybe down to like 80k or something, and then have bonuses attached to it. But either way, I don't think it matters because I think he fits in very, very well. What are your thoughts on this deal? Do you think 15 mil plus add-ons is a good price for Dean Henderson? Or would you still rather see Livakovic in for 10 million euros? Get your thoughts in the comments down below. So apparently Nottingham Forest met with PSG owner Nasser El Khalifi, and the world has gone crazy. I've been seeing Mbappe coming to Forest, I've been seeing Neymar coming to Forest, all kinds of BS, overexcited fans going absolutely crazy about this one. And the report is pretty pathetic, to be honest. It just says they had a meeting. I mean, if we had a meeting, or if Marinakis had a meeting with a catering company, are we all going to go crazy because suddenly the silverware is going to be changed at the city ground or what have you? No, look, these kind of meetings happen all the time between powers that be at one club and powers that be at another. It is very unlikely that owners would sit down to discuss transfers. So let's just clear that up first. The likelihood of that happening, I mean, you would literally have to be talking about Mbappe for that kind of scenario to happen. Most clubs, in fact, all clubs will have a recruitment team who talk to agents, etc. Doesn't really concern the owners too much. They just sign off on the checkbook, so to speak. So with this story, it's like, guys, calm down, man. Calm down. There won't be any player talk. Look, Forest may end up getting a PSG player or two. I would like to see Renato Sanchez come in, but outside of that, who knows what they're meeting for? Maybe it's investment. Maybe it's something like that. This is going to be a conversation that is a lot higher up the power grid than just talking about players. Maybe they were just talking about Keylor Navas and whether or not they thought it was a good job and some checks needed signing. Who knows? Who knows? So this report is so wishy-washy. And it was like the third and final bullet point on a list of things and people who had met up. It's like, just let it go, guys. So for me, there's not much in this. Look, would I like to see Nasser investing in Nottingham Forest? Yeah, man, the guy's got the green. I would take that. But I can't see it happening. We already have minority stakeholders in Nottingham Forest. Just calm down, as they say up in the Northwest. Calm down, and then let's see what this is all about. But it's not going to be anything that impacts players on the pitch, as far as I'm concerned. But I may be wrong. Look, if you want to think Mbappe is going to come to Nottingham Forest, I would understand it with the whole 2 stars thing. PSG haven't got any stars, so it would make somewhat sense. But it's not going to involve those kind of discussions between these guys. Trust me on that one. But get your thoughts in. Let's have a bit of fun with it. What do you think was discussed between the two ownerships? Do you think it was anything juicy? Or do you just think it was a nice, simple dinner date? Get your thoughts in down below. All right, let's move on to a new old, if you like, transfer link, which is Mason Holgate, who is crap. He is absolute shite. I don't know why we keep getting linked to him. The 26-year-old who had a few appearances for Everton last season wasn't good enough for them, but apparently would be good enough for Nottingham Forest or Sheffield United. Look, you can always judge how in demand a player is by the caliber of clubs that are going in for him alongside Nottingham Forest. There's been plenty of players we've spoken about this transfer window where we've had some decent names alongside us in the battle for these players. But with Mason Holgate, ain't no one interested in him apart from apparently Forest and Sheffield United. If he can't cut it at Everton, what makes anyone think he can cut it at Nottingham Forest, which is a bigger and better club? And this, for me, needs to go away. It keeps coming back, man. It's like a goddamn rash you think you've gotten rid of. And then it appears again a few weeks later. It's like when you go to the loo and you flush the toilet and that one little log comes back and just won't go away. That's Mason Holgate for you right now. He just keeps reappearing. And I'm sick of it. I really am. Look, yes, he is more of the profile centre-back that I would like in terms of age, in terms of Premier League experience. But my caveat to that is I don't want crap. And that's literally what he is. So this link needs to stop. It's just been ongoing a couple of times this transfer window already, a lot in the January transfer window. There are plenty of better fish in the sea for us to go and fish with. And I'm not really liking, honestly, some of the profile of the players that we are seeing. Either they're too old and ancient or they're young and crap. There has been, don't get me wrong, 3 or 4 that do interest me. Tyler Adams, the Greek boy as well. Players like that have interested me, even Iniacho to a certain degree. But for this one, nah, I am so against it, man. He would be the Chris Wood of the defense. That's what he would end up being, in my opinion. Maybe you guys think differently of him. Let me know. I'm sure there will be a few of you in the comments saying if Cooper wants him, let's get him. But apparently Cooper wanted Shelvey and Wood, so do we really want to go down that angle? And are you? I don't know. We're here just to give our opinions, but more importantly, we're here to listen to your opinions. So what do you think on Holgate? Would you take the Everton reject at Nottingham Forest? And how do you feel about going up for players that Sheffield United, out of all scummy teams, are interested in? Get your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay, a topic I just want to quickly cover, and we talked about this on the live stream yesterday, and thank you to all the guests and all you guys who were tuned in, but I couldn't resist bringing it up on a video. Aston Villa are looking to offload Keenan Davies for 5 mil, and a lot of the Forest fan base are overly excited about this one, thinking Forest should go in for him for that cut price. And I want to put the question to you guys. We put it to the panel yesterday. If you haven't seen the live stream, go check it out after this video. But I just want to give my 2 cents on it as well. And for me, we've got to stop being so sentimental about players. Players who cut it in the Championship and were heroes then need to remain in the memory as heroes. They really do. And Keenan Davies, for me, is not good enough for the Premier League. Why? Because he can't get into a Villa team. He couldn't get into the Villa team under Gerrard when they were doing crap before Emre came in. And that was for a couple of seasons. They offloaded him to us. They offloaded him to Watford last season. And even at Watford, his goal return wasn't that amazing. And that was in the Championship. Yes, I know when he was at Forest, he was brilliant in terms of the way he bullied the defense. He scored a couple of really important goals. But injury-wise, his cheese string hamstrings were not good either. You know, we lost him for that crucial period towards the end of the season, and we patched him up and brought him back in for the final when he clearly wasn't fit. And then he was injured again with those cheese strings. So for me, I get it. I get what you guys are saying who do want him back. But we need to aim higher. We need to stop with this nostalgia, this sentimentality. We need to look upwards and forwards. And I personally would like someone who would come in to challenge Awani up front, to challenge for that number 9 shirt. And for me, Keenan Davies would be a complete bench warmer or a medical bed warmer, depending on what time of the year it was. So I'm not being disrespectful to him. I'm just being honest in my opinion. I really do think he would be better suited at a Leicester because they're in the Championship. And I do think that's his level. Now, at the Championship, he is a cracking striker. Look, it's a bit like Sam Surridge. Sam Surridge will never probably be a Premier League striker for any team at all, holding a number 9 shirt. But at Championship level, he would do a cracking job. He will definitely score goals at that level. But there is a big jump between Championship and Premier League. And for me, neither of those 2 players are quite there to cut it. Now, would I take any of the nostalgia players? Maybe Spence. I don't know. But then I'm just being a complete hypocrite. But I still do think, if I'm being honest, Aurier is a better right back than him. I really do. But as a right wing back, maybe Spence would be the better option. But again, even that, you have to look at it and ask yourself the question. When he went to Spurs, he didn't even get a sniff. The only games he seemed to play for Spurs for were against Nottingham Forest, and then he got shipped out to France. So, nostalgia, let's start putting that to one side. As the club has to grow and develop and move forward, we've got to start thinking bigger and better. But as always, this is all about opinions. So let me know in the comments. I am dying to read these ones. Would you take Keenan Davies back at Nottingham Forest, and why? A lot of you, I already know, will say yes, for 5 million he'll be a better backup than the likes of Woods, than the likes of Surridge, etc. And to an extent, I do agree with you. But should we not be trying to make a one-year backup, if that makes sense, by getting an even better striker than him? Or putting Awani under pressure for his number 9 shirt by getting a striker on par with him? That's the real debate and the real question. Get your thoughts in down below. Okay, moving on, and it has been confirmed that Nottingham Forest have had the most expensive ticket price hike in the Premier League, on average going up 20%. However, that does not make Nottingham Forest the most expensive season tickets in the Premier League. In fact, it puts them somewhere in and around the middle. And I actually have no problems with this because, let's face it, the tickets have been cheap for a long time at Nottingham Forest, and it's to be expected as we are now a Premier League team. The prices need to come in line with what we're seeing with other clubs. However, I do understand some of the gripes and the concerns from the concession lot, the 18s to 23s or whatever it is, because I myself fall into that bracket. But you guys have to understand that things don't stay free forever or very cheap forever. Once you lose that beautiful, I remember the NUS card, those beautiful things, then the reality of life and prices really does hit home hard and hit home quick. But we've had that debate before. I don't want to go over old grounds, just bringing you the news to confirm that the price hike has put Forest as the most expensive uplift in season ticket prices, but it doesn't make us more expensive. It literally puts us in line with everyone else. If you want to have that debate, do it in the comments. Let me know what you think about all of that. Right, guys, at the moment, that brings you up to date with all your latest Nottingham Forest news. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And get your thoughts and get talking in the comments. I'm really keen on all those topics today to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And come on, you Reds.